and nobody really knows how wonderful. My hero zero, such a funny little hero, but till you came along, we counted on our fingers and toes. Now you're here to stay, and nobody really knows how wonderful you are. While we can never reach the stars without you, zero, my hero, how wonderful you are. What's so wonderful about it, zero?
Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's time for webinar number 2 for the Secret Beach. Sorry about the dead air there. I forgot my mic was on mute when I was working on something before. So, hello. Thank you for joining me this evening for webinar number 2, how to do a physical Amazon eBay inventory and count your items. And that's why I was playing My Hero Zero, because when you're done with this, everything should be zeroed out. Everything should be in its place. You should know everything is. You should not have any pluses nor minuses. Should all be evened out. So My Hero Zero. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me. Cheers for those of you who have cocktails. Cheers. All right, let's talk a little bit about why I'm doing this class tonight. And it was so funny watching you guys who were in the chat early. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this all day, all week, all month. I've never had anyone so excited to learn about inventory and spreadsheets in my life. So I'm so glad I have a very excited audience of people who are ready to do this. So why should you do an inventory? Well, here's the reasons. You need to make sure that what you have for sale is what you have on your shelf. So for round figures, like I used in the example in the Secret Beach, if you have 500 items listed on eBay, there is a problem if you have 504 items in your stock, or if you have 495. Excuse me. So you got to figure out where that glitch is. So what happens sometimes is you list things at auction, they don't sell, you forget to relist them, they sit on the shelf. So they're there, but they're not for sale. Other times you may have listed something and it's sold, and maybe you had more than one and you didn't realize it, so then you got extras. And I'm not going to subscribe to phantom relists, but it could happen. So things get relisted. Now, I don't believe in that, but what I do believe in, I use a third-party lister. So sometimes there are accidents, and I have an assistant, and every time they're new, there's always bound to be accidents. So I have caught my assistants listing the same thing twice by accident. They didn't realize they made 2 separate listings. And so when we send 50 things to go live, I didn't realize 2 were the same thing. But because they did them at different times, if the title structure is off by 1 character, then eBay won't call it a duplicate and it'll let it fly. So let's say I sell this Starbucks coffee mug, and then not knowing that there was 2 listings, and then say 2 months later, I sell it again. And I'm like, where the hell is this Starbucks coffee mug? Doing an inventory will fix all these ills. It'll tell you exactly what you got, and you'll be surprised how much you have to clean up. So I'm good. And I was taking a shower just a few minutes ago, and I was thinking, this is my one webinar where I really have nothing to show pre-set up. I got like 5 pictures to show you. The rest is going to be I'm going to download the report, show you how to manipulate it in a spreadsheet. I'm going to do all that live. And I thought, if eBay takes a crap in the next 5 minutes, this is going to be the shortest webinar ever. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. All right. So Teresa Cox says the eBay black hole is real. I have seen no proof. And I told Teresa I actually thought I did, and then with some little investigating from my end, it really wasn't the black hole of eBay. It was errors from my assistant. So because this is a webinar of just me, and I'm going to be actually live demonstrating it, I will not be able to keep up on questions. So I'll probably pause every few minutes, not every few minutes, but maybe every 10 minutes and look. But if you can, save your questions for the end, write them down, type them out on another program. But be specific, because if you're going to ask me a question about something we did at the 10-minute mark and it's 20 minutes later, I got to make sure I know what we're talking about. So, don't just say, hey, why'd you do that? Why'd I do what? All right. So, all right. So let's get into an actual, oops, I don't want to show that picture yet. Let's get into how to actually download your excuse me, your inventory report from eBay. So that's where we're going to start, and we will also do Amazon for those of you who merchant fulfill things. All right. All right, let's see what is on this screen right now. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Hang tight. I had the wrong set of windows up. There we go. Okay. Ta-da! There we go. Maybe. All righty. All right, let me back up here. I'm already too far in advance for you guys. Okay, so here we are on our Seller Hub, and everyone knows the Seller Hub, or you should know it by now. I know my mom wants me to go over it on our my Mom and I show, and we will do that. But it's one of those things where Mom and I show is usually pretty easy for me to just shoot from the hip. This one would actually take sitting down and working out, and life's been very hectic and busy in a good way, so I haven't got to it yet. But what you're looking for is you're going to scroll down here, and we're going to find File Exchange. So you can see it right there. So obviously click on it. And then the next thing under Downloads, right here, it says Create a Download Request. So that is step number 2. Now, I don't think I said this. I would recommend just watching and absorbing and maybe writing down questions. If you try to really comprehend this and write down notes on how to do it while you're watching it, you're going to miss steps, and then it'll be too far ahead, and you're like, what the hell is happening? So best thing on almost all these webinars, maybe all of them, is to watch, sit back, have a cocktail, absorb, and then go back and rewatch and then take your notes. Because that way, when you go back, you can pause. Like I was using a how-to video on YouTube today, and I had to pause a couple times. And that's what's great about going back to videos like this. You get going, you pause, you make sure you're on the right step, and you keep going. So Scott, you don't have Seller Hub. All right, I'll have to look. I thought everyone had Seller Hub now. I don't even know how you don't have it. Did you opt out of it, Scott? The Find NorCal, if it's blurry, you need to change your settings. So if you look, if you hover your mouse in the lower part of the window of the YouTube, you'll see the gear. Click on the gear, and then click on quality and switch it to 720 high def. And it'll clear it right up. So everyone who sees blurry, try that. Always, when you start watching a video, set your settings to high def, and the blurriness should clear up. Yeah, Scott, you said you never opted in, but I don't think it's even an option not to be there anymore. Teresa's in the chat. Am I wrong, Teresa? I think everyone's in the hub. But regardless of that, if you're not in the hub, this will be someplace. We'll just have to find it for you. It's there. This is not something new to the hub. I've always done inventory this way since the early days. So this is always something that's been there. It is not new to the hub. But let's go right how I'm showing you today. And then for those of you who don't see it like this, we will find it for you. Okay, so we're going to click on Create a Download Request. And then from the drop down, you are going to select actives. Now, you could download all kinds of stuff. You could download your sold. You can download your unsold, your waiting payments, blah, 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 blah. We just want to see our actives. And the download format is standard, all active listings, and there's my email. So easy peasy. Nothing to do really here. Just click save. And it says, we have received your download request, your reference number, blah, blah, blah. We will process a request and send an email to TikiPug that includes a link to your download when it's ready. Now, back even a couple of years ago, I would have had to have done this ahead of time because it used to take like 20 minutes to get the download request. But now, it's usually pretty instant. So, and if it doesn't, I do have one from yesterday when I was practicing to make sure I knew all the steps in order without fumbling around for you guys. So yeah, so I guess based on the chat, yours says File Management Center, but looks the same. So yeah. So yeah, there. Let's check that. All right, so let's see here. Now, of course, today the emails were coming fast and furious when I was practicing, and I don't have it yet. And if it doesn't show up in the next couple seconds, then like I said, I've already downloaded a couple, so we will see. I was hoping for you guys to see the email. But yeah, I'm really shocked, Scott, and those of you who are not in the Seller Hub. I mean, it was, you know, an option for a while, but eventually everyone was going to be there. And I thought everyone was going to be there was this past fall. So I'm really, really shocked that you guys aren't in there. Unbelievable. This download was taking less than 30 seconds. And then, hey, Jason's doing a webinar. No, it won't take 20 seconds. It's going to take an hour. So let me find the one I've downloaded. This is crazy. So crazy. All right, downloads. Oh, of course, it's on a different computer. Bear with me for a quick sec. Here, I'll send the right computer. So I got the one from earlier today. We will now do that because I didn't get the email. Unbelievable. I practiced this a couple times. And the one time it is slow. All right, so over what we're showing here. My entire screen. The file comes downloaded like this. It is this text file, right, or a TXT file right here. And if you just double click and open it, here's what you see. Now, of course, this does you no good. And this is actually my Amazon one, so we're going to actually jump right to Amazon. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to open your program. So now I use Google Docs. Google Docs is exactly like Microsoft Office, but it's free. You can log in anywhere in the world. It resides in the cloud, in the web, and you never have to worry that you're not at your home computer. So if you have a YouTube account, which all you do because you're watching me, that means you have access to Google Docs because Google and YouTube are the same thing. So right up here, when you're using Chrome, you see this little apps thing in the menu bar. And when you click on that, you can open a Google Sheets, which is the spreadsheet program right here. So we're going to do that. And we're going to start a new spreadsheet. Okay, and Excel's going to work about the same. You're going to start a new spreadsheet, and you're going to open it. Oh, there it is. My thing finally came through. So let me get that. We're actually going to go right to eBay. We'll come back to Amazon. Took a couple minutes, but it's there. Okay, so there is my active listings report. You're going to click on the link. And as you can see, it automatically downloaded it right there, File Exchange Report. And the eBay puts it in a way that it's easy to upload to the spreadsheet. So when I click File, sorry, I jumped ahead there without saying, I click File and I click Open. And then from here, I'm going to upload that data that eBay just sent us. So we see where it says drag a file here. So I can just go to my downloads and drag the file right in, just like that. So now it is uploading the file. And boom, there is all the data that eBay sends you about your actives. All right. So you go to File, Open, Upload Data, drag that file that you just downloaded from eBay into it, and then boom, there's all your data. Now, I'm sorry, I went a little crazy there because we're going to go Amazon, eBay. At this point, is there any questions? Because now is when the fun's going to kick in, manipulating the data to make it easy for you to do your inventory. So we have asked eBay to send us the download. It finally showed up because it took a couple minutes. We clicked the link. It automatically downloaded. We went to our spreadsheet program, went to File, New. We started a new spreadsheet, Open, and then we uploaded the data. Oh yeah, yeah. Peso Saver. You can review the video later. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are in the Secret Beach. All the videos are always in the Secret Beach for you to watch it anytime you'd like. You want to watch Anna Hill's CPA video 1,000 times? Have at it. All right. So what you need is only 4 columns, I feel. And as you can see, look how many columns eBay gives us. Now, don't get all wigged out and be like, oh my God, I can't handle all these columns. Trust me, we're going to get rid of most of them, because they serve no purpose to us at this moment. Pam, can you upload to Excel, Jay, rather than Google Docs? Yes, absolutely. I don't have Excel right now, but it's going to be relatively the same. You're going to open a new spreadsheet. You're going to go File, Upload, and either drag or just click on the file from an upload screen. So it'll work the exact same way. Okay, so the first column, can I make this a little bigger? Yes, I can. Okay. The first column is item number. While we're doing now, I don't know if any of y'all use item number for anything, but I don't. So I don't need the item number at all for when I'm doing inventory. The 4 columns I need is category, title, quantity, and either new or used. And the new or used I don't really need. I'm usually pretty accurate on that, but I keep it anyway. All right, so we do not need item numbers. So when you click, and we're going to do more spreadsheets next month. I'm going to teach you how to do formulas, how to set up spreadsheets for your inventory. How to log in what you're buying. But if you've never used a spreadsheet and you click on the letter, it highlights the entire column going down to infinity. If you want to go the other way, you click on 1, it goes across to infinity. All right, so we want to get rid of A, so we click on it to highlight it. We then right-click it, or if you have a Mac, it's 2-finger click, and we're going to delete this column. We do not need this column. Now, some of you might use a custom label to tell you where your items are. Teresa might use it because she's got the outbuilding. If you use custom labels to tell you where your items are, I would keep that category. I don't need it, so I'm going to delete it. So highlight it and delete column. All right. Now, as you can see, product ID type, product ID value, quantity available, or I'm sorry, we want quantity available. These next 3 have nothing in the column, so we don't need any of them. So I'm going to click on A, drag my mouse to the right, and I'm going to highlight A, B, and C. So as you can see, they're all 3 highlighted. Then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to delete columns A and C. It goes a little quicker. Purchases and bids I don't need. Price I don't need. Actually, start date is one I should add, and I'm going to add from now on. So I'm going to leave start date in there. So I'm going to delete columns B through D. We're going to leave quantity available in there. We're going to leave start date in there. I do not need an end date. Condition, like I said, if you want to keep condition, we can keep condition in there. So we're going to get rid of end date because there is no end date. It's just good till cancel. The type we don't need. So we're going to highlight column D and delete column. And then as you can see, column D now is the title of our item. Now, as you can see, it's a very narrow column. We want to see the whole thing. And the little tip is to double click on the upper wall of column D to the right. See where my arrow is right now? Okay. If I double click, it expands it automatically to the longest title I have. So whatever title I have, it expands the whole column to that. So this way we can read the entire column. All right, so category we absolutely need. That is the next column. And then the rest of this stuff we don't need. Stock control. Now, you might use some of this stuff. The download date, who cares? So let's highlight all of these and delete them. So right-click, delete all these columns. And we don't need category number, so I'm going to get rid of that too. All right, cool. Oh, you. All right, cool. So we have quantity available, start date, condition, title, and category name. Those are the things we really need. Now, I didn't used to put start date in there, but when I was playing around with this to make sure I was going to show you guys accurately, I noticed some items from 2014, and I started to think, okay, it's 2017. I'm all for lifey, list and forget it. But 3 years, yeah, it's time to make those things go bye-bye. So I really want to start looking at the date too, so I know how old things are in my category. Now, your title, we're going to alphabetize this first by category, and then secondly by title. Now, your titles are going to be alphabetized by whatever your first word is. So if you're selling the Mickey Mouse Club videotape, normally you would alphabetize that by the M, but because the T is there for the, it's automatically going to pick the T. It is not skipping the articles, A, N, and the. So sometimes it's not going to be in the exact order, but it'll be close enough. So keep that in mind. And if you've never manipulated data in a spreadsheet, if you go to the top of any column, there's going to be a little drop down right at the top in the right corner. And we're now going to sort the sheet A through Z. That means it's going to put all the categories in alphabetical order, so they'll all be together. As you can see right now, they're not. I got 3 coats and jackets, then a mug and a cup, then a casual shirt, then a coat, jacket, and outerwear. Hey, then a t-shirt. So they're not in any order right now. This is not conducive to helping us. Now, we're going to get rid of this top line here because we only got 4 columns. We know which one's quantity. We know which one's start date. We know which one's condition, title, and category name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count. All right, so delete that row. All right, so now let's alphabetize by category A through Z. So now, as you can see, everything is in likeness together. So we have all apparel together, all ashtrays together, blazers and sports coats are together, all the bras are together. And where this gets a little wonky, because now we have, look at all these casual shirts I have. Oh my gosh, look at all the CDs I got. Obviously, t-shirts is going to be big. So that is the beginning. So we've now sorted it by category. Now, because of some categories are very long and have a lot of stuff, for me, it would be CDs, it would be casual shirts, it would be t-shirts. I want to alphabetize it within the category. So I'm going to pause there for a second. I'm going to look to the chat. Do you guys have any questions up to this point? Now, you might not get it right away, but like I said, go back and watch it. This will be an easy thing to just follow step by step and be able to pause me and manipulate your data. So any questions up until this point? And what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to alphabetize it by category. Now, these are not my store categories. These are eBay's categories for your item. So whatever category you chose on eBay, that's the category that's showing up, not your personal store categories. Yes, this can be done with Excel just the same. There is no, Chris wants to know if there is a shortcut to have it ignore the articles. No, there is no shortcut because it's just looking at the first letter. That's all it is. So this actually, when you do this, it actually makes you write your titles a little bit different too, because you're like, oh, I shouldn't lead with that. I should put that towards the end and lead with this because it'll make it easier for you. What if active is not one of your available selections on your download request? So Katie, are you telling me that active isn't? I've never seen it not be there, so we'd have to look into it, maybe call an eBay. If you don't see an active to download your active report, I wouldn't even know what to tell you. Barbara, you can do it. This is really not tough. When you watch it and step by step it and go through this, it's really not tough. Wow, Katie, that's really weird. All right, Katie, we'll work on you later. So that is crazy. All right. So now we want to alphabetize this by category, then within the category. So what you want to do is highlight the column of the category, and then without picking up your finger, so you're one clicking. You're left clicking if you have a mouse. You're going to drag over and highlight D2. So you're going to highlight E and column D. And then you're going to go up to data here, and you're going to sort range by column E, A to Z. I'm sorry, skip that. You're going to just click on sort range. So we're going to sort by column E first. That is our store categories, A to Z. And then we're going to click add another column, and we're going to sort by column D, A to Z. So within the categories, it'll be alphabetical. So click sort, and there we go. So now, as you can see in our CDs here, the first one is 311. If for those who don't know, anything with a number will always be first. And then it goes into A Motown Christmas, Art Van Dam, autographed, 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 and on and on. So now we've alphabetized by category, and then sticking with the categories being together, we have now alphabetized within each category. I cannot believe that I see a lot of people saying they don't have active as a download. So we'll have to figure out something's missing there. I don't get it, but we'll get to it. Don't worry. Now I decided, and I should have done this when I did my original inventory. I want to sort by 3 things now. So I'm going to sort by E, D, and B. And the reason is I want to see my oldest stuff per category. So now I'm going to do my data. I'm sorry, I'm going to do, I'm going to move this, hello, Mr. C, can I move you over here? All right. Okay, for those you don't know, if you ever screw anything up and you on an Apple, it's Command Z. It takes it right back to where you were. It's an undo feature. It's really easy. All right, so I need to move this. I'm going to get rid of this column right now, and that way it'll be easier for me to sort. Okay, so let's now format, data, sort range. Okay, so column D is our category, so we want that alphabetized first. Next, we want it alphabetized within the category, so that's column C. And then last, we want to alphabetize by column B, A to Z. So when we sort it that way, it is now, so let's go to our Blazers and sports coats. So Blazers and sports coats are all together. Allen Ginsberg is the first one, and then it shows you our dates over here. So it tells you if you got anything really old. So I will always be looking for 2014 items, and I'm going to get rid of those. Yeah, unsold is not the same. And I don't know. Okay, PC is Control Z, and Apple it is Command Z. All right, so next step is the easiest step. Probably is printing it out. So obviously, all you're going to do now. For those of you using Excel, because I haven't used it in forever, I don't know if it automatically saves, but because Google Docs is an online system, it is saving constantly as I'm typing. So there is no point ever I really need to save. Because it's always there. So if you ever screw up, it's there. The only thing you want to do is you can go up here. This is the title right now. It's File Exchange Response 37117353. We'll call it eBay End of Year Inventory 2016. There we go. Okay, so it's automatically saving, and that's the beauty of online spreadsheets. All right, so next thing we want to do is we want to print it out. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Print down here. And click print. And we'll pretend like on the magic of TV, when they come up with a already done meatloaf after they just mix the ingredients, ta-da, here's the spreadsheet. So we're going to switch to this in a second here. And let me pause and I'm going to take a look over at the chat and see if there's any questions pertaining to manipulating how the data reads. Yeah, you can set it up to autosave, but Google Docs saves right away. So there is never a time when I have accidentally like left the page and went, oh my God, where's all my data? It's always there. It is instant. So that's the joy. It's free and instant saves on the web, so you can look at it anywhere. All right, so here we go. We're now going to leave our manipulated data. And at this point, we're going to switch to tactile. We're going to switch to a paper and markers and a clipboard. Now, of course, you could do this on the spreadsheet. You could come over here in a column and you can start, you can start checking off things here, like X, got it, X, got it. I really feel it is better when you're doing the physical inventory to have these physical sheets in front of you, because A, it'll show you how you're doing by sheet, and B, it just, to me, it feels better. It makes me really feel like I'm paying better attention. It's not getting all wonky on the sheets. So I'm going to go from kind of high tech, showing you how to download the data, to old school pen, paper, and a clipboard. Yes, Nadine's excited to physically check off inventory. All right. Oh, I had a little drinking problem. I just spilled my beer. Woo. Okay, so it's going to print out in the whatever order we have manipulated. So it's going to print out just like that. And what I'm going to start to do is break it down by category. So as you can see behind me, I got CDs on a shelf. Behind that is all t-shirts by size and then color within the size. All the tiki mugs you can't see are up on the shelf over here. And then across the hall is tubs, and the tubs are labeled. So we have a sweater tub, and we have a bra and undergarment tub, and we have a PJ and robe tub. And so what I do is I grab the tubs one at a time. So for instance, we'll grab the jean tub, and we'll go to jeans, and we'll, I think it's pants actually, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll just start checking them off. And so you're kind of doing category by category. Now, every once in a while, it's going to be a little weird because say you have a Disney sweatshirt in your sweatshirt tub, you might have put it under Disneyana. So it's not going to come up under sweatshirts. So there is going to be some, you're going to go through these sheets a few times. It's not going to be just one straight through and, hey, we're done. Because some categories aren't conducive to be that simplistic. A regular t-shirt is going to be in the t-shirt category. Say I had some rare Star Trek t-shirt from the 1960s signed by Leonard Nimoy. Well, that would be in Star Trek collectibles, so it wouldn't show up on our t-shirt. But when I'm filing it away, I don't have a Star Trek collectible shelf. I just have a t-shirt shelf. So you're going to go through these sheets a couple times to make sure you catch everything. So what I do, and what I do is as I find the item, I just put a red line through the category so I can still read my titles. When I have now put a red line through every single one on this page, I put a big X. I want to keep my pages all in order, so I do number them at the top. But even if I got an X, I'm going to keep them all together still because as you can see, I'm writing notes on every page. There's always something I got to remember to do. And I'm going to show you the things that I had to write down to take care of because of what I discovered as I was doing this. So the one thing I noticed on a few listings that my assistant wasn't doing well and I wasn't catching was she wasn't leading with the brand. So I wrote down a note at the bottom, lead with the brand, and then I could remember to tell her, hey, lead with the brand. Now, of course, side note, if you're selling an item that the brand's sucky, but the item is cool, don't lead with the brand. But if it's a Tommy Bahama, Rain Spooner, Nike, that kind of thing, lead with the brand. And then I noticed that this bottom line here where the blue line is, and I used two different color markers, it was a briefcase that a local friend wanted to buy. And I thought it was worth a ton more. And he's like, I can only afford $30. And so I had it up for a few months and I saw it was still there. And I just put a line through it and I wrote delete next to it. See delete right there. And I pulled it. I messaged him. I go, hey, you want this? He goes, absolutely. So I sold it to him. But I had to remember then to go to eBay and delete it out of my active stock. All right, so that was page one. Page two, this is pretty rare and amazing. No fixes, no errors, just all the check marks. And then here's where I started doing notes. So Big Head Todd and the Monsters is a band. Most of you probably don't know them. They're what's called a jam band. And I had 3 hats by them. Somehow my assistant had them listed in the category of Canada. So I wrote whoops, and I had to go back in there, find the 3 hats, and then adjust the categories in my eBay listings. That's another good reason to do inventory. You catch these things that you would never catch. You're never going to know that Big Head Todd the Monsters hat is in Canada category. She grabbed I think a Canadian hockey jersey and just copied from that and kept going and then forgot to change her category. All right, so page 4. I had a lot of stuff I had to delete, and it was things that had been around for far too long. Even though I didn't do the dates in this one, I just knew it. And so what I did was I would write delete in red right next to them. And then when I actually got back to eBay to delete them, then I would draw a line through it in blue. So I then know I deleted it. It's kind of like a checks and balances for yourself. Because especially if you have an assistant, so she's helped me. She's bringing the tub in. She's setting the tub on the table. We're dumping it out. We're pulling it back. And then she's going through it. So like if we're doing hats, she's like, all right, 3 big head Todd in the Monsters hats. I'm like, check, check, check. Next, Nike Just Do It hat, check. So I'm just going through them. She's reloading them back in the tub or re-putting them back on the shelves. And it's a good time also to straighten up your stuff. Get your t-shirts back in order. Make sure they're by size. Make sure they're by color. Makes life way easier. All right. So then this one, I had a delete and a missing. So when we got to the end, I did not have a check mark next to this Mini Fashion Hawaii surfboards shirt. Didn't have it. Don't know what happened to it, but I didn't have it. So it's missing. So that also meant delete. But I didn't delete it just yet because it is a casual shirt, which my Hawaiian casual shirts are right up here. I want to make sure we went through all of them because maybe a medium, and that's the other thing, maybe a medium got placed on the large shelf, and that this way you're cleaning everything up and you're making it really nice. So once I realized it was missing, and it wasn't here at all, then I deleted it, drew the blue line through it, and I was done with it. All right, so I didn't like the description of this top one, so I wrote describe well, so I went back and fixed my description of that top one. Oh, look at that. I forgot to put it next to it, but as you can see, everything got checked off. And let's see if there's any other notes. See, also, oh, look, I had fix. I didn't like the title, hadn't sold. It's something that should have sold, so I wanted to fix it up. So I wrote fix next to it. I deleted a lot of things that I realized were very old, so I wrote delete next to them. And then here's where it went off the rails. And now it's time for one of the few pictures I have to show you guys. Let's see here. Here's where the things just went haywire. Let me share the picture with you. Okay, one of the bolos we always talk about is Silver Tab Levi's, and I always have a ton. I seem to attract finding them. And it was crazy. It was a crazy mess. I think because of assistants, this being Sophia. And my last assistant. Excuse me about the frog in my throat. All right, so it was a chaotic mess. Look at all the deletions. There were many silver tabs listed that weren't here anymore. And as you can see the disgust on my face, there were piles of silver tabs that were in the tub that were never listed. So I'm not 100% sure. I knew it was something to do with my assistant, but things went really wrong. And because we had so many silver tabs, I really had to stop and look at everything. Now, here's the next step in doing all this to help you out. Like I said, I have 20 silver tab baggies up right now. Now, by the title, I'm not always 100% sure if I'm looking at this one or this one. So what you need to do is when you have your sheet in front of you and you have the items that you're working on in front of you, there we go. You also need to have open at an eBay window with your actives open. So go to your listings, go to actives, and have them open. And this way we can start seeing pictures. So if I'm working on Levi's silver tabs, I'll just type silver tab in here. It'll bring up all the silver tabs I got. And then that way, when we're like, okay, is it this 38, 32, or this one? Silver tabs, a lot of them all have different labels. And so with the visuals, you can then, now some things are very easy. The 3 big head Todd and the monster hats were easy to see, easy to check off. The silver tabs, when you got like 30 or 40, yeah, you know, the purple pair, the couple black, and the green pair were easy to check off. All the medium blues were a little tricky. Come on, slow eBay. Show me my silver tabs. All right, we're just waiting on eBay, and as soon as eBay decides to get, come on, let's go. There we go. Okay, so we have 25 silver tabs. So have your actives open, and then have a look. If you can realize what you're looking at from the thumbnail, great. Obviously, if not, just click on in there. So I have this open, and I have 3 monitors up here, so I have all this open at the same time, and it makes it very easy for me. So I'll have the actives open so I can see pictures, and then I will have another window of actives open so I can delete shit really quick. Because if you find something that isn't there anymore, you got to get it out of there as quick as you can, because if you don't and someone happens to buy it, then you're in trouble and you sold an item you can't ship, and now you got a headache and a problem. So have your actives open, and you can delete things very easily. Now, I had a few unsolds, and so I also had another window with the unsolds open, because if I happen to find any unsolds that were still on the shelf, I would just go in here and click relist. So these are all the multiple windows I have open. Pam, I did click search. It was just spinning the wheel. I see you, funny girl. So Chris Nelson asked, Jay, when you mark something to delete due to age, are you physically removing them from the locations? Absolutely. So when I did this inventory, I was going to an Atiki event, which you all know, probably all know I went to, and I was also deleting Hawaiian shirts and Tiki things I wanted to take and sell. So that was part of the deletions. I'm like, all right, this has sat far too long. If I can move it this weekend for $10, it's coming with me. All right, so that is the manipulation of the data to print out nice and easy. And like I said, I would recommend numbering them, because if you happen to drop your sheets, like I have, it's easier to put them back in order. So as you finish sheet 14, put it to the back, go to sheet 15. Now you need to have them all here, because like I said, if you have a collectible t-shirt that you have marked as Disneyana and not t-shirts, you're gonna have to flip back and forth a little bit. So there's a little bit of work, but man, it really puts you in tune with your products, your items in your store, both in your store online and in your store here in your house. Okay, and it really, really helps. And one of the things, we're gonna talk about Amazon in a second. I get to the end of my eBay thing, and I just listed a CD 3 days before this inventory, and it's not on the shelf. And I go downstairs, because I work at night at a little table downstairs, and I look around and I don't see it. So I had to pull it. I had to click it, end it until I figure out where it was. And I'll tell you where it ended up in a minute. Let me see if I have any other notes here on my eBay one. Most pages went along just fine. I mean, I'm not bad at this. Just some things got a little wonky. But look, this page had no deletions. My assistant had done some slippers, and she left all these stripper shoes in the slipper category. So again, I wrote fix. So I went in there and I fixed all these slippers to shoes. I also noticed a typo. This one is supposed to be Billy Ray's Neighborhood Bar with an S. It just said Billy Ray. It would still search the same, but I always want my stuff to be accurate. So as I'm doing inventory, I also noticed errors. I think I actually made that one myself. Oh, somebody's ringing my doorbell. And here's something I noticed. I had 4 of these shirts and it only said 1. That's why you do quantities, because some of us have multiple quantities. So I noticed it said 1, and so I changed it back to put 4 in. And I bought 82 bras at once, so I still have some quantities of those bras. So I had to make sure that I had 12 34Js. So that's why you print out the quantity. Most of our stuff is going to be 1s, but some of us, and probably most of us, have at least a couple items that are in quantity. So you got to make sure eBay says what you have. So the question is, do I do inventory once a year? I do it twice a year, and I was so mad at the so I usually do it at January, so I have my end of year inventory for taxes, and all my stuff's correct going into the new year. And then I usually do it in the middle of summer, like June, July, just so it's correct for the rest of the year. But this year, I'm going to show you a picture in a minute, I had so much unlisted stuff between my errors, my assistant's errors, and just a couple other variety of things. I had so much good stuff that wasn't for sale during Christmas. I'm now thinking I'm going to do one in the end of October too, just to make sure, starting November, everything is accurate and 100% current. All right, so how long does this take you to do, Jay? Well, I didn't go straight through. When I go straight through and with the help of somebody, it's like 2 days tops. We were working for 4 hours and I had things to do. And so this took me like about a week, but it was only because I didn't go straight through. In times past, I would just go straight through, like 8-10 hours straight through, get it all done. Gives you a peace of mind. It makes you very accurate, and it gets your stuff all very much done. And this might seem daunting and hard, but it really isn't. Once you do it a couple of times, it is super easy. Everything I showed you very slow and how to manipulate the data, I can do in about 2 minutes, tops. So, I actually, the longest part of that is printing out 28 pages. That's the longest part. So once you do it a few times, it's easy to do. And something I always tell my mom, I've been telling her for years when she's doing computer stuff, I go, Ma, I just taught you how to cut and paste. You got to do it 10 more times in the next 10 days so you remember it. She does it. And then she's like, I know how to cut and paste. So anytime you learn something new, you got to do it, because that way you will get used to it. Now, once you have all your X's, you're done. Keep this for your inventory. You need to know your end of your inventory. If you watch with Anna Hill, you have to have that for your taxes. So keep this, staple it, just throw it in a file. So Nadine says, but if your inventory bins aren't categorized to begin with, cost is going to take a lot longer. Yes, and you're doing way too much extra work if your stuff for sale isn't categorized. It absolutely should be. It can't be perfect, like the examples I've given, but it can be close. So all t-shirts should be together, all bras should be together, all CDs should be together, and things like CDs and books, and we're going to talk about CDs in a second here, should be alphabetized, because that's how you find them really quick. I bought a CD collection from a person once off of Craigslist. They were sellers, but they didn't want to do it anymore. They put in order of acquired, and I go, so they would assign a number to every CD and then put an order of number. I'm like, why don't you just alphabetize it? You know how you learned in the 3rd grade in the library on a little field trip? Alphabetize it. Works. A through Z makes it easy. Okay, so the eBay was ready to go in file format. It was easy to drag it over. It just made a file. Amazon's a little bit different because it gives you the TXT file. So let's do that now. There we go. Okay, so file, and then this time, okay, so now I should probably show you Amazon. Haha. Okay, Amazon inventory, and we want to do inventory reports. And I assume a lot of you sell merchant fulfilled. All those CDs on my shoulder, they're all Amazon merchant fulfilled. So I have 560 current items, so I need to do that inventory as well. And the inventory report you're going to want is open listings report, and then request report. And then again, it says it can take up to 20 minutes. This one's usually quick too, because I only have, as you can see right here. Oh, I'm not showing you guys. Let's start again. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't have it up there. Okay, so here we are. Sorry about that, everybody. Here we are on Amazon in our Seller Central inventory, and go down to inventory reports. And then click the download right here, and you want open listings report right there. And as you can see, the one I just did 2 seconds ago, it's already ready to go. So we're going to click download right from here. And as you can see, it shot it down there. Now, it's in a TXT file, and that means it's just data. So you can't just drag it over to the spreadsheet and open it, because it'll look like crap. What you have to do is you have to do a little conversion. So we're going to go to our spreadsheet, a new one. We're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Import. Now, import, the last time we did, and we just went to, when we did eBay, we went to Open. But this time we have to import it, and then it'll convert it for us. So again, we're going to go to Upload. Again, we're going to take our file that just downloaded, the TXT file, and drag it in here. And it's going to upload it and convert it for us. Now, it's already saying all this stuff, it's kind of automatic. You don't really have to know anything. Just say import. So right now it's importing the fields, all the active stuff we need. And there we go. Come on there, spreadsheets. Boom. Same thing. So again, we're going to click the outermost edge of column A, and there's our titles. We don't need item description, listing ID, seller SKU, price. So we're going to delete all of those. If you have multiple quantities, usually on my CDs, I don't, but I do on a couple. I don't need to know open date. We'll go over Amazon inventory on another day. All the rest of this can go bye-bye. Delete, delete, delete. Yeah, and as you can see, they give you a lot more data. So I don't need all that. What I do need is just the title, because I'm just working with CDs and books, and they're alphabetical on my shelf. So what I'm going to do is I just need to alphabetize the title. Now, of course, again, it's not going to be exactly accurate because And Justice for All by Metallica starts with ... So that'll be first. So some things aren't going to be, but as you can see, once you get past anything with numbers, you're going to have the A's and the B's and so on and so forth. And so I have that one printed out. So let's go back over to actual in my hand. And so I printed out and then I did sort it by quantity. Now here's my little notes. When I did my Amazon, I had to delete 11 items. I only kept this note to show you guys, and I had to add 7. So what that means was there were 7 CDs that actually got on the shelf that were never listed, and 11 that Amazon thought I still had active that I had to delete. Now, the other picture I want to show you how to do CDs. So if you're a CD seller, this is the easiest way. Oh, I'm going to back up real quick here to show you just one other picture from the eBay inventory. Ooh, stop that. And this was a portion of the pile of the things that were in the bins and on the shelves that were not for sale on eBay. So this is all the cool stuff that should have been listed for sale for Christmas. So for instance, this gray strap right in the front is a Tokidoki sports sack, something you should be looking for. I bought it for $6 in LA. Somehow it didn't get listed. When I finally listed it, it sold within a day for $58. So that's the bummer. When you see all this stuff that's on your shelves, that's in your tubs, that isn't listed, you're going to be like, crap, this is all stuff that should have been sold at Christmas. Okay, so what I do on the CDs, because they're all alphabetical, I slide them all out about halfway. And then I take my little letter opener, and as I go down the list and check them off, I just push them in one by one. So the list is alphabetical by title, not artist. So that is a little bit of a bummer, and there is no way to really do it any other way. So you had to kind of know your stock, but for instance, I had Kenny Loggins all join in. So it's under A for all join in, but I look to the right, it says Kenny Loggins. I go to my shelf, I go to the L's, I find Loggins, and I just slide that one in. So at the end, whatever is still sticking out, that is what's not listed on Amazon. And then anything without a check mark means it is listed on Amazon, but it's not on my shelves. I need to delete it. So there's just a couple more shots of the CDs. And books work the same way. So that makes it very easy to do. And I don't know, not all of you have a lot of CDs, but I got to tell you, I've been talking about them. Guess what I shipped today? 2 Christmas CDs. It is January 30th. They are still selling. They weren't huge ones today, but I made good profit on both. And so that, in a nutshell, is how I do my inventory. Now, the one thing I told you about earlier, I listed this CD on eBay 2 days before the inventory, and I couldn't find it. I looked on the eBay shelves. I looked downstairs where I worked. I looked around my messy desk. Nothing. Guess what? I accidentally filed on Amazon. Never even thought to look there, which you think I should. But once I did my Amazon inventory, I went, oh, there's the eBay CD. Whoops, I'll put it on the eBay shelf. Okay, so that is in a nutshell how you download the data, how you manipulate it into the spreadsheet. It does seem like it's, I can tell some of you are probably like, oh my God, I can't do this. It is very easy, very easy. Follow this step by step, pause it, and do it more than once. Do it, get it done, and then go do it again like in a week because you'll get used to it. It is second nature for me to knock that out, and it's so much easier to do your inventory. Now, if you have a laptop and you have tubs, or like Vicky has her stuff in her garage, take your laptop, because like I said, you need those screens open so you can look up things. Take your spreadsheet and just walk your laptop out to your tubs. About half my stuff is in here, half of it is elsewhere. Because it's tubbed and it's upstairs, we would just walk the tubs in one by one. But if it was in the garage, I wouldn't drag it from the garage upstairs into the office. We would just go down the garage and work through it that way. So Nadine's like, I'm still not, why aren't you alphabetizing? That's how you find things. Didn't we all go to the library when we were like in 3rd grade and we got taught how the card catalog works, how to alphabetize, how to write a letter, all those things. And that has stuck with me because it just makes it easy. When I sell something by Kenny Loggins, because I have the dividers, all the letter dividers, I go right to the L's, L-O, Loggins, pull it out super quick. Mom, you will not need personal attention. Just follow this video. It's very step-by-step, very easy, and do it. And don't worry about screwing up. Look, like I said, that Control Z on a PC or Command Z, Z as in zebra, on an Apple, if you do a step on your spreadsheet, you're like, oh, I didn't mean to delete that column. Command Z just replaces what you just did right back to where it was. And you Command Z again, it'll go back again. So say you did something 3 steps ago, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, it goes right back to where it was, then start over. Take a deep breath and then start over. And look, I didn't have a final count, but I had probably a good 50 items on the shelves that weren't for sale in my eBay store. And like that Tokidoki Le Sportsac purse example, it sold for a $50 profit instantly once I got it listed. So that is just, it's wasted space. It's wasted, it's not making you any money. It's just tying your money for nothing. And I found things that weren't there anymore. They weren't listed. And that's the only way to do it is to do a physical inventory. And this is the easiest, quickest way to download data, put it in a spreadsheet, manipulate it to be able to read it, very easy, print it out, and tactile, checking it off, really, you can see it. I mean, because let me tell you, the joy of putting the X on, and when you do this for the first time, you'll understand. When a sheet is complete, when you found that last 2 missing things, the joy of the X, that's what's going to tickle you. You're fancy. Oh, my mom says easy for me to say. Yeah, Ma, it's easy. It's step by step. It's a step-by-step video. You can pause. It is super easy. All right, Mom's going to give it a go. Sweet. Now, I was planning on doing yet again how to hire an assistant, what to do with them, and everyone's like, oh, I have an assistant. Your assistant does not have to be full-time nor expensive. You just have a person 1 day a week come take pictures. That's still an assistant, but it really helps you out. I was going to do that next month, but if you guys are up for more spreadsheets, I'm going to show you how to do spreadsheets for your inventory and have it do calculations for you. So I'll give you a quick little preview right here. And let's see here, sales. I opened so many of these today. There we go. All right, so what I do, I log in everything I sell. You don't have to do this. But let me get to the bottom. Let's pretend I sold a tiki mug today. And if you look at whoa, hang on. I somehow have left. Did I close that by accident? Sorry about that. Pause for a quick second. Closed out the window. So you guys can't see what I was showing you. Da-da, da-da, da-da. All right, cool. There we go. And we're back. All right, sweet. Cool. Okay, so what I was going to show you is nope, I don't want to print. I want to open. All right, so I have 2 sheets I use. I have an inventory sheet and I have a sales sheet. So just a quick example, on the sales sheet, I have formulas worked into the sales sheet. So for instance, excuse me, crumb bellies for dinner time. If you see in the upper right there, it shows cost 926, sales 4,484 and 90 cents. So when I add the sales to my sheet here, there are automatic. So I sold a tiki mug today, and Kahiki Kai, they haven't shipped it yet. Now, if you look at the 926.87, it's going to change here in a second. The mug cost me $18. And so now my cost of goods for the month is $944. It's automatic. And I sold it for $28. So if you look at my sales, that's going to change too. Oops. Crap. This is the one where I got the columns mixed up. Hang on a quick sec. I'll start a fresh one. All right, so we'll pretend it's February 1st. Kahiki Kai, Tiki Mug. I sold for $18. Excuse me, I bought it for $18 and I sold it for 28. So there, it automatically showed my sales. It shows my cost. And then I charge $10 for shipping. So it adds my shipping in. And then I take out $6 for shipping, or $7 for shipping. So as you can see right next to it is a total. And then I give these running totals on the right. And then as I scroll, I have these locked in. So that's always at the top there. So if you guys want to learn how to do spreadsheets to do your sales like that, or I also have spreadsheets for your inventory, we can do basically part 2 of spreadsheets for February, and I can do it really quick. Like we could do it about maybe a week and a half, and that way you have the 2 spreadsheet webinars kind of together, and it really helps. Like Nadine's a creative person. I'm a little bit of both. I'm definitely creative, but I'm more analytical. I need to see my spreadsheets because I like to see that in December, I spent $1,500 on goods, and my sales were $7,050. I like to see that. That makes me feel good. I like to see when that number creeps up. Plus, when you have these spreadsheets for every month, you can go back and look. And last December, I only did 5,000. This December, I did 7,000. So I like to see my trajectory up. Oh, Scott Baxter just found 6 unlisted items. That's awesome. So Stacy said, do I take my fees out of my eBay sales by item? Well, that'll be for the next webinar, Stacy. But I will tell you, I used to. And then I'm like, that's a waste of time. Because at the end of the month, I just plug in my eBay fees, and then my PayPal fees, and my Amazon fees. Because you get that date at the end of the month. I used to do it one by one, but now it saves me so much time. I'm like, no. End of the month, you plug in PayPal fees, eBay fees, Amazon fees, and you're good. So if you guys want more spreadsheets, we'll do that in February. And then in March, we'll do how to hire an assistant, because that is definitely the next level up. And like I said, it can be a 4-hour-a-week assistant, and you pay $10 an hour. It's not a lot of money, but the amount of time it'll save you. Any monkey can be trained to take pictures. And so your time should be better spent on sourcing or selling or figuring out new avenues to sell. So I definitely want to teach you guys about having an assistant, because I feel it's very important. I would not be where I'm at without one. And I don't have a full-time one, never have. I have a part-time one that works every week, but only part-time. Monica wants to do tables, pie charts, graphs. I don't do any of that. I don't need that. I mean, you could. We could go really nutty, but I do feel if we got to graphs and tables and stuff, I'll lose my mother and I'll lose some of you. I think it'll be enough, because what I can do too, especially if you're using Google Docs, I can just send you the spreadsheet, a blank one with the formulas already plugged in. I'm still going to teach you how they work and how to use them and what to do, but I can give you the blank one already, and you guys use it. And I see me spinning. Am I froze, you guys? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Did you guys like this? Was it helpful? Now, I know some of you aren't going to do it. I know that. I was breaking Nadine's knuckles to get her to do an inventory. Crap. Am I going again? All right, I'm going to switch computers here for a second, because I don't know what's going on. Let's go to this computer. Hello. Yes, we can have pizza brought in next time. All right. So did you guys like this? Was it interesting? Do you think you're going to use it? Did I go slow enough? I think I did. I definitely, I always think about when I teach my mother, I have to go a little bit slower than if I'm teaching like Teresa Cox something. And so I try and go at a pace where like you can easily pause step by step and go from there. Cool. I'm glad you guys liked it. A couple other things coming up I want to let you guys know about. The beach is going to grow very soon. So if you have someone that you think wants to join the beach, it's going to be coming up. My next the webinar I did with everyone who, the reason you guys got here is because of the last webinar. The next one's going to be free. And it's going to be how to sell your extra goodies at an event like a flea market, community sale, even an antique mall, and or a specialized event like I just did the Tiki one. So when you do those things, it's all about looking better than your neighbor. You have to set your booth up to look better than your neighbor. You've got to be attractive. So we're going to do a webinar in about 2.5 weeks on how to do that with a lot of pictures, because I have pictures of everything I ever do in terms of setting up booths or whatever from start to finish. And I am going to pat myself on the back. I set up a pretty bitchin' booth. So that is going to be coming up in about 2.5 weeks. And at the end of that webinar, the Secret Beach will be open for new members. And the Secret Beach is not ever going to be just open, but it'll be coinciding with webinars, because also I don't want people just wandering in every day. I want people to get in groups and then start to learn and get acclimated to the beach and find all the stuff that the beach has to offer. So I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're learning. I love seeing your successes. I love seeing when light bulbs go off. I love helping everybody. So I'm glad you guys have come along for the journey. And what else was I going to tell you? Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that webinar is coming up, and I'll have another webinar after that. I've figured out another way for us to make money. I mean, it's not like it was a surprise, but I figured out a way to do it, and it worked really well. I sold $500 worth of crap this weekend, so that's going to be coming down the pike too. So stay tuned. Oh, and our guest in February is going to be Lorna. Lorna is one of the lifeguards in the Thrifting Board, and Lorna's like the Twitter maven. She's got like 35,000 Twitter followers, and Lorna's not famous. And I say that because she has 35,000 followers, and she's not famous. I have like a couple, maybe 1,000, and I'm tiny bit famous. But she's going to teach us how to use Twitter and social media to up your game of selling, of putting yourself out there. You know, I'm very big on branding yourself, so this is going to help you. So we're going to talk about that. So she's going to be our guest for February. And I always have like a couple months mapped out ahead of time based on things that happen around me, around you guys. But if there's something very specific that would be beneficial to the whole group, please, by all means, shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to, if the majority of the group's like, I need to know how to buy tennis shoes, well, then I will find the person who's the best at it, and we'll talk about that. But try not to request things that would maybe only be specific to you. I live in a dark corner of North Dakota. What do I do now? I know we have one. But we actually could talk about if you're in remote places, what to do. But if only one of us is remote, maybe you and I just talk one-on-one a little bit. But if you think of things that'd be good for the whole group, please let me know. And we will definitely get those out there. I mean, I'm so glad that I started. I'm so glad you guys came, because I'm just full of things I want to share. And, this is a good concentrated way to do it, the webinars and the videos and all that stuff. So I'm currently making a commercial. There's going to be little clips of all the things we've done so far. I'll be putting that up tomorrow, the next day. So if you could do me a favor, if you've enjoyed the beach, and when you see that my little commercial I'm going to put up, if you want to pop into wherever you see it and say, hey, I really enjoy the beach, that would be very helpful. And I'm very, very thankful to you. And I don't have the dates yet, but the big party will be in July. So if you're going to be able to make it, if you're going to be able to travel to Vegas in July, start planning that. As soon as I get a date, I'll give it to you. We're working on options on where to have the party. It's also going to depend on how many of you can make it. If 50 of you can make it, it'll be one place. If all 300 of you can make it, or when it grows again in a couple weeks, we're going to have to go someplace else. So make sure that if you're coming, and I'll probably start a post soon, just to get a general idea. I'm not holding anyone's feet to the fire, but if you think you can travel to Vegas in July for the party, I got to start getting an idea of numbers, because Vegas in July is going to include a pool. So that's a must. So if you need to get ready for bikini season, start working on it now. All right. So if there's no other questions tonight, we're going to wrap this one up. I want to thank everyone for being here, and feel free on the post for this webinar tonight. If you get done and you go back and watch it and you start doing your inventory and you get stuck anywhere, please put the question up there. No question is stupid. But I bet you if you get stuck in a spot, there's going to be 5 others stuck in the same spot. So if one of you voices speaks up, I'll be able to help you, and that way I'll help everybody. So don't be shy or embarrassed. This is all love and family here. All right? All right. With that, my wife bought one of them silly pot things that Teresa and Bridget made her buy where you pressure cook your dinner. So that's what I'm going to go try out. So if she hasn't blown herself up, it's time for Din Din. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.